Hello guys, welcome to the first behind the scenes episode for minus 50 degrees Celsius series. Well, I want to do this because I want to show you how I build stuff. When I created a teaser and this series, I actually haven't thought of making a behind the scenes. But then again, we did this for Skylines Invicta and many of you were so interested on how we did this. So I'm going to do the same for minus 50 degrees Celsius. But before we start doing that, please, if you haven't watched yet the first episode, the storytelling episode, please go ahead and watch it because I'm going to spoil a lot of things and it will be pity not to watch that before. And one more thing, when I created the teaser for this series, I wasn't thinking of making a behind the scene, so I have nothing when it comes to that part. So I choose a map and then I added the winter theme on it. The winter theme was done by Not Done Yet. He's helping me with this and also with a lot of other props and assets for this series. And for that, a very big thank you. What I don't have to show you is that in the teaser you saw like lots of shots with the Statue of Liberty, for instance, with that bridge which is taken by the snow and the ship in front of it. I made the pyramids, a plane in the snow which fall down, of course. And then the city, you can see the city in the video. Well, that city, it's actually Little France. I have my series already made, so it was... I saw no reason why creating a new city only for this. But then, we will have the little town, the little frozen town, where our little adventurer called Russell lives, and the place from where he's telling us the stories, well, that little shack, that little old, actually it's old as well, but it's old and ugly little shack. Which, by the way, it was already on the workshop. I think it's made by Beer Monkey. So I just plopped it down and then I started taking measurements. I'm using some new assets, new props that are made by Not Done Yet, some different type of walls and whatnot. And I'm taking measurements to take exactly the same distance between the walls as we have for the shack. And then separately on one side I'm building his little house with different materials that I found on the workshop or again that were provided by Not Done Yet. Everything is done with wood, and inside there I'm gonna plop different type of props that you can, let's imagine, you can see in the so-called winter apocalypse moment, right? Because at a point you find stuff, but at a point you will not be able to find that many stuff. You have to create them out of nowhere, or you just have to find stuff in the junk or just reuse them, right? I mean, that's what I can imagine, at least right now. So I'm plopping down all sorts of things that I found on the workshop that are helpful, and these will be the things that you can see inside of it. It was that moment when you saw the shack, and then suddenly I'm going to show you what's inside the shack, where our friend Russell sits at the table and wrote the story. And then we move like to 22 years ago when everything started, right at the point where Russell was spending the last weekend with his father at the cabin in the woods, and of course near the lake. And it's not on any of my maps, so I had to create it from scratch. Well, it was quite easy. I used the same map as before, but with not a winter theme. I was looking into the workshop to see what type of house or houses I can use, something that looks like a proper cabin, right? And I found one which is very beautiful, and then I started to just build stuff around it. But because I have the script, I already have the script about it. I always do the script before, and then I start building and taking all the shots and anything I need. And reading the script again, I knew exactly what I should build here at the cabin, right? Because beside the cabin itself, the house itself, we need the lake near it, and then we need to have the forest that surrounds the house, and right there in front of the cabin, in front of the house, we will have the area where Russell is fishing with his father, right? I've tried to add few details here as well because, you know, even though it's a short shot and whatnot, I want to try my very best to keep things looking really good and pretty realistic, let's say. And I'll try my very best again to do these kind of details for future episodes as well, especially when I will start working at the town where they will live. So yeah, I did all the details. Not gonna tell you too much about this because there is nothing out of ordinary, let's say. Just some usual stuff like a brick wall. We have this pier in front of the house that I was telling you about. We have some stairs, of course, and then I will try to add as many as possible, some bushes or weeds growing in the water, making it look like exactly like in real life. I mean, that's how it looks, right, near the lakeside. Good. So all these kind of things were done pretty fast, let's say. It didn't take me too much to create new stuff. Again, thankfully I had Little France, and that was that was the city that saved me, because otherwise I would have had to work a lot at the new city. I took a lot of shots there in the city, and nothing else would have done it perfectly if I had to create it from scratch myself, right? Now let's finish here with all the final details. The trees, the forest that which surrounds the entire area. I added 2 boats there. One of them was pretty old, maybe even broken and whatnot. And yeah, that's it. The rest it's quite simple, as it looks in the cinematic as well, where he's just swimming with his father. Then walks into the forest, and then suddenly they have to drive back. Well, not actually suddenly, but they have to drive back because time is passing by. And he's watching the sky for the first time, thinking that, wow, that's so beautiful and blue. It was, you know, that moment when you actually think of how things will happen in real life, like something bad will happen. And actually it will happen because the weather is getting colder and colder by the day. It started raining, and the weather was getting again colder, which eventually, you know, you'll think, hey, it's quite interesting. It's still August, right? When you think that you'll see the sun again, you'll have a surprise. Guess what? The first snowflake will kinda hit the ground, as it says. And then it started snowing during the days, and during the nights it wasn't snowing, but it was pretty cold. So during the day it was like -1 degree Celsius, and during nights -10. I know it's not much, but when it's August, things are not probably not that happy for anyone, and you kind of start asking questions. Hey, what's going on, right? Everything moves like from let's say from strange to very nasty, because people were just trying to survive at a point. Nothing was happening good. They were just waiting in line to buy groceries and whatnot. The roads were not clean. They couldn't leave the city. They couldn't go anywhere. So you at a point you get to ask yourself, hey, how far we go? And then we move to the scene where they are both, him and his mother, inside the house, in the apartment. Apartment that, well, actually I had to, of course, build from scratch. Was not that hard, to be honest with you. Well, I just have to use some local stuff, like using, of course, the procedural objects to create the walls, and then to create the floor, the wooden floor, and create some windows. So I'm using all kind of stuff I can find on the workshop right now. That's what I have to do, and I need to stick with those. And if I don't have those, well, probably not done yet will help me out with some new props and stuff. So I am using these wooden beams made by Beer Monkey, and I color them, and I just created out with them the windows frames, and some extra little, let's say, wooden how should I say, beams that are into the wall. Actually those are just for the looks and nothing else. I didn't want to leave those walls completely empty, even though I could have used anything to not leave some just white walls. So yeah, then I had to make the shelves. So I found a wooden table. I just shrink it down, plop it down on one on top of each other, and then I had to think of, hey, okay, so I need some stuff to fill in these shelves there, food, right? And of course, adding all the other little details. I don't know why I don't have these in the cinematics. But just some tables, then there is a stove there, a clock, and then I found a shelf with all kind of groceries, and I was like, oh my god, really now? But I had to use the procedural objects, and I cut down everything from there. I cut down the bread, and I plopped it on the shelves for myself. And then I took again the same shelf and took those boxes with cereals and whatever, even flour, God knows what's in there, right? Corn flakes and so on. And then I had to think of something like, hey, we need some canned food, because, well, in these kind of moments, that's what will help you survive, canned food. You can keep it for quite a lot of time. And I was thinking, okay, what canned food can I use? So I took some oil barrels and I shrink them down super, quite a lot. And then I popped them down on the shelves like one by one, and then filling all those shelves super fast with those. So kind of this was it. We will end this behind the scenes episode by creating the area, well, the place where they will move eventually. I'm not going to show you too much of it, not now. I just want to tell you that there are lots of new beautiful cliffs made by Not Done Yet. He will he already started posting them on his Patreon account, as if you want to check them out, or if you want to use these and have a look at them, you can find them there. Probably he will release them on the workshop at a point, I don't know, it's up to him, or he will just leave them as for Patreons only, because he told me that that's how it will be. Some assets will be only for patrons, and some will be for everyone. Eventually they will be released on the workshop. So if you are interested to grab all kind of cliffs that will be released every week, then you can go and check his Patreon account. It's at the description of my video. But guys, thank you very much for watching this. Till next time, well, I wish you all the best. I really hope you guys watch the story episode. Right as we speak now, I'm working already at the second episode, and I'm going to do all these behind the scenes videos properly. So the next one will be quite big. Guys, take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching, and well, see you in the next video. I salute you.